Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Lazy Sunday Out of the Basement stream. Of course, I'm Nate, joined with Justin.
Sup, guys?
And today we've got a very special guest with us. We are joined by Victoria's Cantina. Hooray! Thank you for joining us, Victoria. It's so nice to have you on the show.
Hello, good morning or good afternoon in y'all's case. Hope that you're doing great. It's great to be here. It's an honor. Thanks to everybody who is with us today. It's going to be a fun chat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to be talking a little bit of some Black Series rumors that have been going on, as well as, of course, Book of Boba Fett towards the end of the show, recent pickups, and all of that good stuff. So thanks for joining us, everyone, so far. Hit that like button, number one.
Of course.
But for anyone unaware, Victoria, if you wouldn't mind, just tell the people out there what you do on your channel and all that good stuff.
Certainly. So I started my channel, Victoria's Cantina, in April of 2013. We're going on 9 years. I focus on Star Wars primarily, more than anything else. It's usually the vintage collection, the Black Series. Do a little bit with Hot Toys, and then I do some things with dinosaurs, including Mattel's Jurassic World line. So I'm kind of all over the place. I used to do more DC, some Marvel Legends, and some Ghostbusters, but I'm trying to focus a little bit more, even though I do collect those things still. I started collecting with the Power of the Force 2 line. Awesome. 1996, I think it was. And, some collectors will take a year or 2 years off, over the course of 20 plus years. I haven't. I've been going nonstop. So I have a little bit of a collection. And that's kind of why I started the YouTube channel, was because I wanted to showcase all those things that I had in my collection. And that's what I did. And then as new things started coming out back in 2013, I think I had some of the first Black Series reviews on YouTube. And it just kind of grew from there, continued focusing on Star Wars and those other lines that I love. And that spun off to the Cantina Chatter podcast, the Vintage Collection podcast. I do a podcast with Collect Jurassic. It's called Collect Jurassic World. I have a Disney podcast called Discoveryland. And I keep very busy. I do live streams.
Yes.
I have the Cantina Cocktail Hour. It's every Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific time. We do... I appear on shows like this and other shows as well regularly. So I have fun doing this. It's great to interact with other collectors. That's the best part of all this, is the community and getting to know other people and talk to people. So thanks again for having me on. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you, Victoria. That was a wonderful explanation.
Yeah.
You're YouTube OG. You've been here for a very long time. So it was always something that I was like, man, I want to get Victoria on, just because you've been collecting the Black Series since day one. So I want to talk later on in the episode and get your input kind of about, obviously the state of the line, because I'm sure you're well aware of, all of the sort of controversy that the Black Series brings these days. But I want to hear your perspective a little bit later, just as a OG collector who's been there from, ground zero. So, but let's go ahead and say hello to some people in the chat right now. We've got a full house already. Masterpiece, second week in a row. First comment. Thank you, Masterpiece. Thank you. We've got Chen Razzie in here. We'll be watching the stream from the Bahamas. Oh, very nice. We woke up in good old Indiana today, and it is hot outside right now.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Kiwi's loving it. Kiwi's loving it.
The snow is deep. It's not good. It's a good day to stay inside.
Oh, yeah.
But hello, Joseph Bett. Thank you for joining the stream. We've also got Norsky Way in here. Gamerzone 24. Freddy 74.
Hey,
welcome. Nice to see you. We've also got David Edge tuning in from England. Good evening, David. I know
what's up.
This is your nice little wind down stream for you. So thank you for joining us as always. And then we've got Mad Hatter Pops in here. Hello. Hey. Mark Hauser. Nice to see you as always. Daniel Garcia. We got some sports talk, some sports ball going on.
OOTB over NFL. All day.
That's right. When it comes down to it, when it's going to be that Super Bowl Sunday, you guys are going to be watching us. You guys are going to be watching us instead of the sports ball. Hello, Eric. Thank you. Seeing Victoria on 3 live streams in a row. Nice. Yeah. You have had quite the weekend so far, Victoria. So many streams.
Yeah, definitely. Had Cantina chatter, or a Cantina cocktail hour rather, on Friday. I was on the market show over at 6 Scale Cantina yesterday, and now I'm here with you guys. I'm just having fun. I'm everywhere, and I'm totally enjoying it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Vader X Breaks in the house.
Hey, Vader. How is it going? Nice local collector, local friend, Mr. Grudge. Hello. Nice to see you here as well. We've got Dawn in here. Hello, Dawn. Nice to see you. Nice to see you.
Say hi to Gamer Zone. I think we might have.
We did. We got Gamer Zone.
All right.
Dennis, hello. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Gentugo, nice to see you as always. Nathan Woodard, hello. We've got the entire basement army is here right now. Everyone's showing up. Sure. So thank you. Don't forget to hit like. BRFC, hello. Good evening over there in the UK. And we've got Tony, Marvel Legends fanatic, has the 212th hit Walgreens in America. No. Nothing yet.
They've been found in a warehouse, and then it's just, we'll keep them there. We'll keep them there.
I think, like we always talk about, it's going to be a chaos drop, and it's just going to show up on the shelf one day, and everyone's going to go into a frenzy. Yep. Hello, Jay Martin. Welcome to the stream.
What's up, Jeff?
Another day, another attempt to organize my figures. That is the question. Section 7, hello. Welcome to the stream.
Yo.
Let's see.
Do we have... Ches?
Yeah, Dink Ches. Hello.
Manuel.
Hello, Emmanuel.
There's a lot of chat going on right now. I'm having a hard time.
I know.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, what's up, man?
Yep.
Thanks for stopping by again.
We got
Corbin Wood.
Corbin, hello.
Yeah, can't forget about Infernal Hippo.
Yep, we got Infernal Hippo. Darth Educator, Jonathan Anderson.
Hey.
So many people. Jay Meza, hello. We've got Boba Fett Nate. Hey, we got a little Nate gang going on in here today. Yeah. I like that. Hello, Jeff. Welcome. Got some new faces in here, some new names I'm not recognizing.
Yeah, I like that.
It's the crossover here. Victoria's bringing the audience with her. Thank you.
I like it.
Richard, hello. Chenrazi, Eric. We've got Mary Sullivan in here saying, yo, Victoria. Brian Myers. We got Jeff Millers. Logan Scott. Fugman. Darth Xander is in here as well.
Yo.
We've got Dill. Hey, guys, it's 3 a.m. for me, so just dropping in for a bit to say hi, hitting like, eagerly awaiting my 501st and 212th like everyone else here. Thank you, Dill, for stopping by. We appreciate it. Thanks for smashing that like button. Thank you. We've got Jazzy35K in here. Hello. Jared L. Action Display is in here. Hey, what's up, Action? Nice to see you. Disciple 806. Nathaniel. Albert. Storymaster 100, starting off the stream with a $4.99 super chat. Do you think Hasbro will release the Jedi Temple Guard in the black series?
That'd be amazing. Would that be the first yellow lightsaber we get in the line? That'd be really cool. I'm down for that.
Yeah, I would be down. Victoria, what do you think?
That would be really cool. I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the channel support as well.
Thank you, Storymaster, for the $4.99. Aaron, hello. Good afternoon, or good morning, good evening, wherever you may be. Mango, greetings from Finland. Hello. We've got Jay Tezzy in here.
Super Battle Droid.
They are asking, what is the #1 figure you guys want this year? Also, hi, Victoria. Love your channel and content. Victoria, what's your figure that you're looking forward to this year the most?
For Black Series?
Yeah.
That is a good question. Well, I have some personal wants, and then I have some things that I think are pretty likely to happen. So let me go with the personal want. I would like to see Hammerhead finally come into the Black Series.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we just did our top 10 Black Series wish list, and yeah, we had Hammerhead on our list as well. So
Moma Naden.
yes,
Yes.
absolutely. I mean, I would love it. It would open the door to obviously the Mayor from Book of Boba Fett, the Ithorian Jedi from the Tartakovsky Clone Wars series. So I would love
Yeah.
it. I'd love it to get a
And,
little weird.
Totally. And Doc Ondor from Galaxy's Edge.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Who is that?
Doc Ondar, he has the Den of Antiquities in Galaxy's Edge, and he's like an animatronic, and he's there like working like in the background. If you go in there to like
Oh.
buy like a lightsaber or something, and he's an Ithorian, so that'd be a
Nice.
cool figure too.
Yeah, haven't been
nice.
able to make it out to Galaxy's Edge yet, but I also have intentionally avoided a lot of stuff because I don't want to, see any. I want to see it for myself
Yeah.
when I'm eventually able to go there.
It's the way to do it.
That's awesome, though.
Let's see.
All right,
Froylan.
And Froylan, hello.
Matt Bryant. Hey.
Hey, Matt. Welcome. BA47. Hello. Ben Drake. What's up? What's up?
Wookie Sin. We definitely will.
Ready
Endless
to talk?
Mando figs.
Oh, yeah. Mike Chu. Hello. Yep. Miles. Nice to see you. All right. Let's see. We've got Logie in here as well from Iceland. Wow. Greedo and a Speedo here. Hello, hello. Ivan's here as well. Nice to see everyone tuning in bright and early, right on time.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Vader, for the $4.99 super chat. They say Justin sees the new Lego Star Wars game trailer. The Lego addiction returns from the ashes. Could we see you guys covering that game in April?
I'm pretty excited for it. I loved playing the Lego Star Wars games back in the day, so I'll definitely be picking it up. Will we stream it? Maybe sometimes. I've done one gaming stream that I unlist after it ends, so maybe there's, maybe. You never know.
Yeah, right.
You never know. But thank you for the channel support, Vader.
Thank you, Vader. Lukeness, hello. What's up, Lukeness?
Oh.
Thank you for joining us today. Let's
Chosen
see.
One.
Chosen One. We're getting towards the end here, I think.
We are. Daniel Ponce.
Daniel, hello.
Let's see, Mario.
Hello,
Delvian
Mario.
C. American Warrior Luke. Hey, dude's here.
Hey, how's it going, dude? Nice to see you.
I think we might be caught up.
All right. A lot of people in here, but
yeah.
So yeah, of course, Victoria, we like to always ask our guest on the show, since we are primarily a Black Series focused channel. I mean, I have started to dabble into vintage collection, and Justin's kind of started getting into the Lego side of like Star Wars.
Yeah.
But we always like to ask, of course, well, we already said, you've been collecting pretty much since day one of the Black Series, but I would like to know, what is your favorite Black Series figure so far? Like, just all time.
Gotta look up at the shelf.
Oh yeah.
That is a very tough question because there's, I don't know how many, 200 figures at this point. If I had to pick just one, gosh. So I really like Count Dooku. I think he's one of the absolute best. I don't know if I'd say he's my absolute favorite, but just browsing really quickly, I'd say Count Dooku would certainly be like a top 5.
Oh yeah, Count Dooku's awesome. A figure that we love championing it because it's, to us, a superior figure than like the SH Figure Arts version. So like the bang for buck on Count Dooku is
right. He was on our top 10 of all time as well. So.
But so you've been collecting since day one, and we started collecting in 2015. So, I mean, we missed out on the first couple years of the line, but I'm just kind of curious from like your perspective, how was it when the line first came out? Were the figures easy to get? Were they in stores? Like, I don't know. I'm curious as to how it was, like when it all began.
So when they were first announced, and this was in February 2013, there was a lot of animosity towards a new scale because, you know, a lot of collectors, pretty much all Hasbro collectors at that point were collecting 3 3/4 inch. And there was a lot of concern that it was going to take away from that scale. Basically, within a couple of years, they what happened is the 3 3/4 went 5 POA, and then it did become a retailer exclusive through Walmart if you wanted more articulated style figures. So it did affect it to some extent, but that seems to be changing now, and I think that perception maybe is, you know, kind of transforming finally a little bit. The actual figures, when they released, I think I had gotten mine at Target. They were initially a little bit hard to find. That very first wave, everybody, you know, at that time, 6-inch was becoming the industry standard for action figures, and you know, it's not a surprise that Hasbro wanted to get into that with Star Wars.
Right.
So there was a lot of interest. I was personally interested because I was collecting 6-inch for like Marvel Legends. I was collecting DC figures. And, you know, I wasn't put off by that scale. You know, for me, like the more options out there, the better. And it's still Star Wars. It's a bigger format. I was really excited to check it out. By wave 2, they did saturate quite a bit. Leia in her Huttslayer outfit was everywhere. Greedo was everywhere. Some of these figures just, they stayed on the pegs for months on end. The subsequent waves, when they changed over to the blue and black box, those were harder to come by because you had that backup of those previous waves. Boba Fett never sat around long. Maul didn't hang around too long either. R2 kind of did. But then like the later waves with like Vader, Luke Jedi, Obi-Wan Revenge of the Sith, those are a little harder to come by. And in my area, at least, I live in San Diego. There's a lot of competition here. We have Comic-Con here.
Yeah.
I was only able to find some of those later ones at Toys R Us. And then, yeah, once 2015 came around, The Force Awakens, it was just like a glut of product. It was just like nonstop. And that totally transformed the way Black Series was being put out there. It went from kind of, I don't want to say niche, because it was obviously a mass marketed, widespread line, but it definitely went to something that was just common. Like the mainstream Star Wars figure line was the Black Series in 2015, and it's kind of been like that at least up until a year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially like this previous year with Vintage Collection, like even that turned my head. You know, seeing like Bo-Katan, she's an amazing figure. That Vintage Collection figure is just like out of this world. But no, that's interesting. So I mean, because we had Mike Case on the show, and he was also collecting kind of from the beginning as well, and he was telling us that he like bought the first wave on clearance from Amazon, like got all 4 figures. And yeah, but that makes sense though. I mean, obviously, you know, Star Wars has always been like a 3 3/4 inch line up until that point. So that is interesting though, that there was like some resistance to it. But I guess I'm not surprised though. That doesn't really sound, you know, unusual. I should say.
That's interesting though. Like about the like availability, because we started collecting Black Series like mainly in 2015, and actually it was like really late 2015 because it was my birthday where I got my first Black Series figure. And I just went on this crusade of trying to get like the orange and blue line stuff. And I actually, even in like 2016, I managed to find like Commander Cody blue line, IG-88, Bosk, like a lot of these classic like orange and blue line figures. And that's just crazy to think like back in 2016, I was still able to find like a 2013 or a 2014, 2015 figure. Versus today, it's like super hard to find stuff in person. So that's definitely like one of the biggest problems is like distribution, availability, and stuff like that. But hey, we can pre-order pretty much everything. So it's not like the biggest deal in the world, but it is nice to like go out to the store and just find stuff on pegs. You get that rush.
Right. You do.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a little missed. Like the hunt, obviously it's not like how it used to be, but I mean, at least we could pre-order most stuff, so we're still getting it. It's just not the I have it in my hands and I'm standing in a store and it's awesome. But yeah, well, we also had Walgreens to thank for a lot of those blue line figures. They held on to those for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And even like back in the day, like I remember seeing just pegs of prototype Boba Fett, like Richard was talking about. That was the first figure I bought in the line. It was the one that drew me in. I was always kind of into like the McFarlane Alien stuff and like NECA horror, but of course, as like, you know, we got closer to Force Awakens and stuff, that like Star Wars hype started reawakening. So, you know, I'm at C2E2 and there's a 6-inch white Boba Fett. And I'm like, oh man, this thing looks awesome. But I remember seeing it in Walgreens and it was just everywhere. So
yeah. Quick shout out to the 112 people that are already in here, 20 minutes in.
Thank you.
Thanks for getting us to over 100, because that's my little self-validation internet thing. Which is probably unhealthy, but that's fine. So thank you for everyone for coming in. Make sure to hit that like button because it helps us out with the algorithm, puts it in more people's recommended and all that junk. So yeah, do you guys want to talk about like recent pickups, or would you want to talk about like the Wave 34 stuff first? What are you guys feeling?
I mean, I'm pretty much down for whatever. Victoria, you feeling one type of way or another?
Either way is good. Recent pickups is good, though I haven't picked up a lot in Black Series. I still don't have the most recent wave. It was hard to find locally. I know there were reports from Yak Base, hey, it's hitting in Southern California, and I was going. Nothing. So I had to pre-order my stuff when it became, went up for pre-order after it was hitting retail, and I'm still waiting. So still waiting for that most recent wave.
Yeah.
I got super lucky from those Dork Side full cases. So that's the only reason I have that wave. But all right. Well, Victoria, you want to start us off here with your recent pickups this past week or so?
Yeah, let's do it. So I guess the most recent thing that came in was this. It's the vintage collection. It is the Mandalorian and Grogu Madu Craze.
Nice.
Oh, awesome.
And,
yeah, I saw your picture and it was just absolutely gut-wrenching.
Was it
right.
bent?
So, well, nobody should have to do this. I ordered 4 because I knew Walmart was going to find a way to mess it up.
4.
And I collect for vintage collection. I do collect boxed, and then I open at least one. And I don't do that for Black Series. I open everything, but for TVC, I do one of each. So I wanted to have a mint one. I said, hey, if I order 4, they're going to put them in a box, pack them nicely, and send them to me. Nope, they came in a bubble mailer the size of a pillowcase, and they were all just in there.
Oh, no.
And yeah, every single one had some level of damage, some worse than others. But it's okay. That's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a neat set. It looks really cool. It's got the spiders. I think other than this, I did get the for Black Series. Actually, I did get the Arvala 7 Mandalorian and Grogu. That's the most recent thing I got for Black Series.
I actually wanted to ask you about that. So have you had a chance to take it out of the package yet?
I have not had a chance to take it out of the package yet.
I'm so curious about that paint app technology that they applied to that figure. They briefly had mentioned it in one of the streams, but it's like some new like texturing paint app technology on that figure. I'm really kind of curious to see, like how it is, or like, how it actually feels in person.
Yeah, that's I didn't know that, but as soon as we're done here, I will go make it a point to go find that figure and pull it out, take a look.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, because I mean, hey, I'm always down for new technology to come to the line, especially if that if it works out, maybe we can get like a decent sand trooper,
Yeah,
because we're not. Yeah. I don't know how you feel about it, but we're not the biggest fans of like the digital printing of battle damage on like the Black Series figures.
Yeah.
So, like the recent Remnant Stormtrooper, I feel like that figure just kind of missed its mark a little bit, and it was because of like the digital printing of the battle damage.
The dots, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping like if this is something new, maybe we can get like another shot at that with this new sort of paint technology that they are trying out on it. But no, that's awesome. That's a great pickup.
Real quick, thank you, Mango Fett, for becoming a member.
Thank you, Mango, for joining
99 cents a month.
Army.
Link in the description for anyone else who might be interested. Let's get some of that emoji spam, please, guys. I see a lot of members in here. Let's get some emoji spam in the chat, please. Also, what's up, Action Figure Podcast?
Hello.
Gen Z and millennials complaining about ordering online. If you're referring to us, none of us are Gen Z. We're on that millennial status, but yeah, I get a rush when I find that case sitting on the pallet in the store.
I think every collector to some degree misses the hunt. I mean,
yeah,
but it's just the way things are now.
It doesn't contribute to like, oh, the line just isn't doing anything for me anymore. It doesn't matter to me that much, but I do miss just going to the store and finding stuff. There's like so much chat going on right now. Thank you. Oh, it's because I just asked for emoji spam. So thank you, guys. Thank you.
I was gonna say you just asked for the spam. What do you mean?
I was trying to keep up with everything though, but I like it though. Keep talking amongst yourselves. It really helps us with that engagement. Keep chatting. But was that it for your pickups, or did you have more?
I think that's it. Trying to think. They come in and then they kind of just go to the side until I'm able to deal with them. So I think that's kind of been it for at least the last week or so, last couple of weeks. I have some things coming, but that's all that's actually like shown up. Oh, I got a Batmobile too. I don't know.
Nice.
I know that doesn't really count, but I got a Batmobile.
Nice.
Not Star Wars.
I mean, I've got, so my recent pickups this week are actually Batman related. So I am pretty into the McFarlane DC Multiverse line. And so I did pick up the comedian or the clown Joker, which this is just a great classic looking Joker. The pistol in his hand doesn't come with the figure though. That's from the Valaverse weapons packs. Those things are really awesome. So I picked up Joker and then of course had to get the corresponding Batman, which this is just a great looking Batman. Super basic, super classic, just kind of everything you'd want. At least for me, I'm a gray, yellow, black Batman costume fan. So I noticed Victoria because I was just doing a little channel digging. So have you got any of the like McFarlane DC stuff at all, or are you just completely out of like the DC game?
No, I still do DC to a lesser extent than I used to. Back when I started getting into 6-7-inch DC, that was like Mattel had the classic 1966 line. That was back when like our DC Direct, which isn't even around anymore, was doing the Arkham line of figures. And but I mean, I collected Batman like going back to being like really little. I still remember the day I got my very first Batman figure right after Batman '89. And but no, from McFarlane specifically, I have been buying these guys right here, the classic series.
Awesome.
Because that I love that series. I watched it on rerun when I was a kid, and I have the Batmobile, the Batcave, and now Spin Master has the 4-inch license, so they're doing things for the Batman movie, and that's what I kind of been into. They have the Batmobile that I just got. They have a police car that's coming soon. They have play set that's in the works. They have a lot of cool things coming for that movie, and no, it's not like the vintage collection quality. But it still does a really good job at world building at a very affordable price. I'm pretty excited about what they're going to be offering soon.
That's awesome. Yeah, the McFarlane 66 stuff, I haven't got into it just because I'm in the 7-inch, and it's just another rabbit hole I don't want to go down. But the bang for your buck, like the Batmobile and the Batcave, I know the Batcave's like partially cardboard, which don't want to mention partially cardboard things, but
no.
But yeah,
Give me a
I
second
mean,
to understand.
yeah, great. But yeah, I think what they're doing with the 66 stuff is awesome. I'm curious though, what are your thoughts on though? Did you see like those Beast Kingdom 8-inch Michael Keaton Batman and Jack Nicholson Joker figures?
Mhm.
How are you feeling about those?
I'm not into like weird scales really.
Yeah.
It just they're hard to fit with anything else. I I appreciate 6 inch. I like 3 3/4/4 inch. It's hard because a lot of what McFarlane's doing now is 7 inch. Diamond Select is 7 inch.
Hmm.
There's a lot of different things that are little NECA 7 inch. So I'll still buy some of those things, but I strongly prefer that companies try and keep things a little more universal across the board. Um, but yeah, so I haven't really gotten a whole lot into the McFarlane, just the standard Batman line. I do have the Batman Beyond figure, the one that has a little stand.
Oh, nice.
Um, that's the only one I bought into that segment there. But
Hmm.
yeah, as far as those two go, yeah, it is kind of a weird scale. They look cool. I'm still waiting on the Mesco 112 Michael Keaton Batman. I pre-ordered
Oh,
that like 2
yes.
years ago. It
I was
still
about
hasn't
to
come
say,
in.
wasn't it just the 2-year anniversary of the pre-order of that figure?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Wow. I
So
mean
still waiting.
that's Mezco for you, but I'm sure it's going to be a great figure once it finally comes out. Mezco always does great work with their figures. I have
They do.
I just have a couple 112 figures and they blow me away every time. But
Totally.
uh, yeah, so and then I do have one last pickup. It's a new vintage collection figure. I'm very excited because this is kind of a hard figure to get. I got lucky, but I did manage to get
Oh, nice.
oh Luke
Very
Skywalker
nice.
in the Jedi Knight costume. Entertainment Earth randomly did a restock
Yeah.
of this figure, and I was fortunate enough to be there right as it was happening.
Nice.
Yes. That is one of the best figures in the vintage collection. You got a really good one there.
Awesome. Yeah. So I've been like dipping my toes into vintage collection, and I have the Jabba's Palace display set. So that's kind of where I've started like my, building of that kind of my 3 3/4 inch world. So I was super stoked because, once I'm getting into the vintage collection, I'm looking up some of these aftermarket prices and I'm just like, hell, there's no way. Looks like I won't have a Chewbacca. That's fine. That's what I've kind of come to realize. Or Jabba the Hutt is my big one right now, where I really want a 3 3/4 inch Jabba, but all the good looking ones are just a little too expensive. So I was happy to be able to actually get a figure that is kind of harder to get, but essential for Jabba's Palace.
Totally. Yeah, that's a good one. I would look if you just want a 3 3/4 inch Jabba. It's from 2003 or four. It's called the Ultra Jabba, and he comes with the hookah pipe and like the little
Ooh.
section of his dais. And that one you can probably get around maybe 40, 50 last I checked. So that's a good option if you just want to have a pretty decent quality Jabba in your collection.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, yeah, thank you. That's I'll have to look into that because, yeah, I mean, it's like I've got Jabba's Palace, I've got all sorts of aliens and creatures, but no Jabba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that was it for you, Nate?
Yeah, those were just my pickups. Richard, I told you, I fully admit I jumped off the deep end into TVC.
Yeah. Same with me. I admit it.
Yeah. Justin's jumped into Lego. I've jumped into TVC. Who am I kidding? I mean, look at all these carded. I mean, this whole row is TVC. Up over in this corner back there, you can't really see them.
Yeah.
And I also have all the ones I've opened too. So,
yeah,
it's a rabbit hole, but I really love the world building of 3 3/4 inch. That's what I've really been enjoying.
Right. All right. Passing the torch here. So Big Bad Toy Store randomly, I mean, I say random, but it's like amazing. Like it's unbelievably fantastic because it's so sad that these are figures that are hard to come by. But when it comes to the Imperial Stormtrooper, like the Mandalorian Galaxy packaging, the new 2020 Stormtrooper body, just like the regular. I got 2 of those because they are in stock. I'm actually going to check right now because, like, it's important to have Stormtroopers, and I want everyone to get as many Stormtroopers as they want. So I'm going to do a live check here. Of course, they put it so far down on their list. Yeah, it's still in stock on Big Bad Toy Store. You can buy it literally up to 24.
Good.
So I highly recommend it. I picked up 2 more, so I have 5 total regular. But the QC issues with the brow, how like sometimes the brow will be a little bit higher than like the other half, finally did get to me on one of them. But I just took a fine tip black Sharpie, did my first modifying to a figure ever, and it looks perfectly fine in my opinion.
There you go.
And like it looked wonky.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this doesn't do it justice, but I think it might have been this one. You can kind of see how the like one half is a little bit higher, but like taking a fine tip Sharpie to these boys, not bad.
Yeah.
Like
Nice.
I'm kind of proud of that. I never modify my figures ever, but I was so kind of pissed because I'm like the #1 defender. I was like, I got 2 artillery, I have 1 incinerator, I have 3 regular, I have a remnant, and none of them have that issue. And then I finally got one that had that issue. So I was a little upset. So I was like, I'm going to try and save this figure, which I did. So yeah, I got 2 of these. These are masterpiece. Like I love the regular Stormtrooper. No hate on the previous Stormtrooper body, but I love the new one.
Yeah,
I agree. That new Stormtrooper best Black Series fig. I don't know about best, but
yeah, it's
good.
It's great.
Yeah, it's a great update to a figure that honestly, wasn't horrible. Wasn't horrible to begin with.
Oh yeah, it wasn't horrible. But a little bit of a Lego build update.
It wouldn't be a stream without some Lego updates.
Yeah. So I built this last week. Didn't get a chance, or I showed off the unfinished version of it on last week's stream. So yeah, I finished this. I really like it. You can stick General Veers and the 2 AT-AT
that's awesome.
Striders in there.
That's really cool.
And my favorite part is, as I'm breaking it, see here. Yeah, you can like open up the side and there's like some seating for the snow troopers in there, and there's like a speeder bike. It's awesome. Not the $800 mortgage loan UCS AT-AT, which is incredible, and it seats like 40 something snow troopers, but obviously that's just not possible for me right now. I would love to own that though. But yeah, that's my most recent build. It's probably my favorite one. I like reorganized because it's getting packed up there, guys. It's like flashback to that vlog where I was like, just prequel sets, every once in a while. But yeah, I like Lego now. I always have. I just never collected it as an adult. I was really big into it as a child, so I guess it's like a little bit of nostalgia, and I say this every week, but it's like hearing that world building itch.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's very interesting that you went to TBC and I went to Lego, because both of those lines are pretty good at like world building because they're so small. So you can get like an AT-AT, which is like, we're never going to get an AT-AT in the Black Series. That would be absurd, but there's like dioramas, there's ships and I just want that representation that's never going to happen in the main line that I collect. Still love the Black Series, and it's still like my #1 priority, but it's been fun dabbling into Lego a little bit. Let me put this back over here. Takes up a lot of space.
Yep. That world building aspect is
addictive.
It's awesome. And Victoria, you've got the sail barge, don't you?
I do have the sail barge.
Oh,
how do you display such a piece that is of that size?
Well, it is. So I think I have a YouTube video possibly showing where I ended up putting it, but I have several cases around my collection room. It's not a huge collection room, but it's enough to like display a good amount of my collection. At the very top of one of the cases, which is my more 3/4 Star Wars based display case, I have the barge way on the top of it. So it's like 6 feet up in the air, but it's still low enough to where I can see it and appreciate, all the figures that I have on it and in it. And the one I'm worried about though is the Razor Crest, because I think that's coming soon, and I have no clue where that's going to go.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Insane Goon, thank you for the $5 super chat. Picked up the UCS Falcon on a Lego restock 2 days ago on their site. Really excited for it. Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm a little, so when I was at the Mall of America at the Lego World, that's where I got the Cantina, because got to mention that every week.
Yeah.
But it was this ultimatum that I had, because they were the same price, and it was like the Rancor failure. I had all my cash in an envelope and said HasLab Rancor. And I bet I was saving up for it for like 2 months, and I finally got my like 370 in there, and then it didn't happen. I was like, shite. So it was between that and the UCS Republic gunship, the LAT gunship. And it's like, I feel like I still want the LAT gunship, but it was like I was supposed to pick one or the other. And I'm like, you know what? In a few months, I'll probably just end up getting both anyway. And now tax season is coming around, and I'm like,
I was gonna say, it's the best part about being an adult. You just wait a little bit and then just buy it anyway.
Like we live dangerously close to a Lego store in Chicago, so although that would be kind of weird lugging around such a large item around the city and then taking the train back, and I don't know how that'd work. Maybe I just order it online or something, but
maybe. So, Victoria, you mentioned you've been collecting since 1996. So how do you manage a collection of such a scale? I would have to imagine it's got to be intense.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So that's Star Wars. I've been collecting Star Wars since 96. I really got into toys before that, when I was a kid. My parents, we had a big extended family, and, for holidays and birthdays and stuff, they'd always give us like toys and all kinds of toys, not just, there were Barbies and, Polly Pockets but Ninja Turtles too. We had uncles that give us Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters and all that stuff. And so I still do have a lot of that stuff from when I was a kid. Not all of it. I wish I did. I wish I had a lot of the stuff that I used to have.
Yeah.
So storage is really good for if you have extra. I think every collector longs for the day, and some are able to attain this, where they have like this huge basement or this huge like third floor where it's like a giant room, a 30 by 30 foot room where they just have display cases and everything on display. And I think very few of us actually get there. I hope I do someday. If I don't, what I've been doing is just rotating my collection displays every 6 months or so, just to kind of mix it up and get to see a little bit of what I have. But most of it is in storage. I think I would say I probably have a good, maybe about, probably like 30% of it, I would say, is I'm able to have on display. But not, I wish I could have everything on display. But yes, storage is really important if you amass a collection that's big enough to not fit in your collection room anymore.
Absolutely. So we get questions all the time. So I feel like as far as when you store your figures, are you plastic bin, storage locker? Like how do you keep your figures stored, but in I would assume in a safe manner?
So for loose figures, let's use Black Series as an example. I think what's great about Black Series is you can reuse the boxes. I don't personally do that because I just don't have the room to do it. But if you have the room to do it, that's a great way to store them. I put them in like acid-free plastic craft bags. You can buy them at Walmart. I think you can get them on Amazon too. And they don't like some plastics will leach over time, so you want to make sure that that doesn't happen. So you always want to use acid-free craft bags if you're gonna go the Ziploc bag route. Black Series, quite a few I do have in plastic bags like that, and then I'll have smaller craft bags for the accessories, and I'll just put them in, and then I'll gently put them into a larger like bag, and that'll be labeled like for. I usually do it by film, so I have like Revenge of the Sith, Phantom Menace, Force Awakens as an example, and then I put those in storage like that way.
Nice, awesome. Yeah, everyone's always asking about storage tips, so I always like to just hear how everyone kind of does it. Acid-free bags, though, that's a good tip, and I'm gonna have to remember that myself because I do have the Ziploc bags, but I think I just use plain Ziploc bags, so I wouldn't want to potentially damage any of my figures. That's a great tip.
Yeah, and I don't zip them all the way either because the plastic does need to breathe a little bit, so I leave them like halfway unzipped.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, good tip. Good tip. All right. So do we want to talk a little Wave 34?
Sure. Let's make a little banner. I forgot to make that one. Sure. We can just briefly talk about this. It's some of the stuff we knew was coming, but some of it actually is like new. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's finally happening. So we're going to go on over to yakface.com, the best source for Black Series, TVC news, Star Wars toy news, and everything. And we're going to check out the article here, Black Series Rumor Report, Wave 34 details. Reads, we have fulfilled in some more unofficial master list code name identities thanks to 2 new leaked Black Series figure names, Axe Woves and Grief Karga from Season 2 via JediInsider.com. So with that info, Wave 34 looks to include the New Republic security droid Din Djarin, the Morak tank trooper disguise, Axe Woves, and Grief Karga. So cool figure ideas, but I think the idea here is that they're like oversaturating the Mandalorian. So I'd be very interested to hear what you guys, as well as chat, thinks about. And yeah, Mango Fett, we'll talk. I'll show you Wave 32 and 33 because I think that's important to know as well. Is that this isn't just like the next wave and it's like, oh, it's all Mando figures. Like we're actually hypothetically going to get some prequel Jedi, some ARC Trooper action even before we get this wave of just Mando stuff. Mm-hmm. So what do you guys think?
I mean, I think it only makes sense that there's so much Mandalorian stuff. It's hot. Strike while the iron's hot. And for someone like me, I'd probably end up getting all of these figures one way or another just to build out the Mando display. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, they're not the most exciting, figures in the world, but I'm still interested. Yeah. How are you feeling, Victoria?
Yeah, they make sense. More Mandalorian, right? That's kind of been the thing in Book of Boba Fett lately. So I think, they're gonna do just fine. I'm gonna collect them all, as I always do. It's if it says vintage collection or Black Series, it's I'm gonna buy them. Other than like carbonized and like weird stuff like that, credit collection. I kind of had to scale back on certain Black Series things like that because it was just becoming a little. I felt kind of ridiculous, all the credit collection and carbonized stuff.
Yeah,
but anything that's like brand new though, brand new character, even if it's like a repaint, that's still like something new. I will pick that up. So I'm good with these. Like y'all were saying, they're not the most exciting releases, but they'll work, and they are current, so I'll take them.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I think I agree with Lukeness. Axe Wolves is probably the most exciting. I would suspect it's going to be on that.
You got Bo, you got Casca.
Right.
We need an Axe.
Right. We just need to finish out that little team there. So in that aspect, I'm like, yeah, that's going to be a good one. And of course, since I have Mayfield, I've got to get Din, got to have the pair. So
yeah. The only thing here, to be completely like unbiased and fair to like talking points that I've said in the past, because like, okay, it's no secret that I don't like Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker, and I criticize the point in time in the Black Series when it was like just sequel trilogy stuff or just Rogue One, but then I turn around and then I'm fine with like all this Mando stuff. But the difference here is that back, like, for example, the red and black box, I know I bring this up every week, but we went 14, 15 figures before we got a non-sequel trilogy figure. So, like, I understand the people who think that the Black Series is a little oversaturated with the Mandalorian, but it is hot. It is the number one reason why pretty much anyone has Disney Plus, or at least, like, it's a big, you know...
Right.
So you also have to think about, like, Disney's hand and how that plays with Hasbro and how their merchandise goes. But we also, I feel like we have a nice variety of stuff, especially in like the regular waves. Like let's think about last year. We had like the Hunter, Crosshair, Elite Squad Trooper, but we also had a Ventress figure from Clone Wars. We have General Lando from Return of the Jedi. We have like I don't know, I'm blanking on like Aura Singh. It's like I feel like we still do have somewhat of a variety in figures, but it is, I do kind of understand where I'm like, oh, like more Mando stuff where it's like, you know, it's all Star Wars, it's all relevant all the time, so they should show a little bit more of an equal love to everything, especially prequel era content, because it's like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm kind of riding that fence, kind of being a little fence walker about it, but at the same time, I love the Mandalorian, so it's like I will take more Mando figures. So,
yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I like we talk about though. I think as far as character selection goes, it's probably the best it's ever been. Especially, I mean, think about back then. You know, we didn't get any Clone Wars figures at all. Yeah. Really, any prequel figures for the most part for a long time. I mean, even you know, orange and blue line stuff was mostly troopers and Anakin and Obi-Wan. Like it took a long time for them to get deeper into prequel and Clone Wars stuff. So like we talked about, you know, like it's crazy that, you know, we have Cad Bane, we've got Aura Singh, all these, you know, the list of prequel characters now goes on and on. So I think like character selection is still the best it's ever been, even if we are getting like a straight Mandalorian wave of figures.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Also, thank you, Ron. Weekly donation. Keep up the good work, ladies and gents. Well, thank you, Ron. I've been not really playing those clips, but I'll play a clip for you. This will be a clip for everyone who's donated. Thank you, guys.
I smell profit. Nice, juicy, fat, warm profits.
Thank you, Ron. But yeah, I definitely agree, because we also have to remember, let's go on right over here, which, by the way, I think this might be the second or third time I've shown this on a stream, but like this is a super helpful thing just with like the SKUs and the DCPI or DPCI. But so that's wave 34. But we have to remember, like, the majority of collectors don't have even wave 31 yet. So it's like, let's not get reactionary. Let's remember that, I mean, check out this wave. We have a Mando figure, but we also have a Return of the Jedi. We have a Book of Boba Fett. We have a original trilogy, 3 OT figures. And then, yeah, just to be thorough, we have wave 32. I get it. We also have the Client, Death Watch Mando, which that can double as a Clone Wars figure. I don't care who you are. And Ahsoka, but like who wouldn't take Ahsoka? You also
who's saying no to Ahsoka?
And then you also get Echo and Omega from the Bad Batch. But this is like the big one for me. It's like, let's please not forget this. Because hypothetically, we're going to get all of this before the straight up Mando wave. So ARC Trooper Jesse, hot fire banger. Ki Adi-Mundi and Ayla Secura, like 2 big things that we need in the line is more prequel Jedi. We are getting more prequel Jedi. Allegedly. Allegedly.
Yeah, true. Allegedly.
This all will come true, though, because it's Yak Face. Princess Leia, Ewok Village, so it's original trilogy.
Yep.
Figure and Dan, original trilogy, Alien. Great, love it. So keep in mind that we're going to get plenty of great stuff before we even get that Wave 34. So
true. I wanted to jump back a little bit because Action Display had a great question for Victoria.
Oh, sure.
It's relating to the NECA Ninja Turtles line. I know that was probably about a year or so ago. You made a video where you were talking about quitting collecting the NECA TMNT stuff. So Action Display is asking, what are your thoughts on the line today?
I would say that the QC seems to, I don't know that it's gotten better. I've heard less stories of things breaking lately, and I don't know, that's because people have learned to be a little more gentle at NECA. I appreciate that they have made a more concerted effort to put pre-orders on their website in advance, even for like their Target exclusives, which, you know, have been notoriously difficult to come by for years. I think that's something I actually recommended in that video, and I'm glad that they have done that, and they've made it a lot easier for collectors who really want these things, not just in the US but internationally as well, to have access to some of these products. That said, the line itself has really blown up since I made that video. It's gotten so big and expanded, and I haven't changed my personal stance. I still kept some of what I had for NECA. I just didn't actively continue collecting. I made one exception for the Turtles in Disguise because it sort of was one of those things that if you want it just to be a normal turtle, you can have it that way. If you want to have the trench coat on them, you could have it that way, the disguises. And then I sold my originals because this set kind of was a replacement for those. So yeah, they made some steps in the right direction. QC across the board for NECA, though, is still something that they need to improve on, because, you know, if you're going to pay for a figure that has articulation, you expect that the articulation is going to be functional. If not, it just needs to be a statue. And you know, NECA sculpts are amazing. There's very few companies that sculpt as well as NECA does, and, you know, paint and everything, but it needs to be functional as well. Otherwise, you know, I think a lot of collectors would certainly be happy to pay a few dollars more to get a figure they're going to have full confidence in and know is not going to break when they try and move a leg or an arm.
Yeah, it's definite, especially with the NECA price increase now, where most figures are now $37.99 for like a ultimate figure. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, I think it definitely is something that they need to work on as the price goes up and up, because you're absolutely right. You know, I always find it funny that with some of the Godzilla figures, they actually like included a little like piece of paper that was like, hey, you got to put the tail in hot water before you try and connect it to the figure. And it's like, should I have to do that? Like,
no,
I feel like I should be able to take it out of the package and just connect the tail and hey, there it goes.
Yeah, I think what it boils down to is that the manufacturers they're using aren't necessarily top tier. This isn't an issue you generally have to worry about with Hasbro or Mattel or, you know, any of the mass companies, marketing companies. But this sort of thing, I think if, you know, it could be a factory issue. And, you know, that goes back to charging a little more for the price. But like you're saying, you know, if they're already increasing prices, there's going to come a point people are going to say, well, it's $40 for one of these 7-inch figures. Don't want to pay that much knowing it could break. What I want to see happen is more companies have access to some of these licenses that NECA has, because they have licenses that nobody else has for certain things. And I think that's what makes them appealing. They have Back to the Future, they have Universal Monsters, they have all kinds of things across the board, Ninja Turtles, that you're just not seeing to the same extent from other companies. I'd like to see more companies get similar licenses. And I think one example of that is Jada Toys. They just started making 6-inch figures with their Universal Monsters line, just to go toe-to-toe with what NECA's doing. And I bought those, and they're great. The articulation works. They don't break. they don't look quite as good as what NECA has done, but they're also less expensive. But for me, the more important thing is, does the toy serve as a toy? Does it work? Can you move it? Can you not worry about it, falling off the shelf and busting into 12 pieces? And with those, absolutely. So I want to see more of that from other companies.
Yeah, definitely. And those Jada toys are so good. I love the Bride of Frankenstein. She is awesome. I also have the Creature from the Black Lagoon as well. And yeah, you're right. They don't look as good as NECA, but they're also 6-inch scale. So they're good to mingle in with, you want to do some crazy photography or, take some Marvel Legends or Black Series figures and throw them together. So yeah, I do think competition is definitely healthy, and it would be cool to see, like McFarlane, they talked about getting back into their horror movie figures, but it seems like they must have, Todd just kind of threw that out there, and then they haven't really done much with it. But they had talked about Movie Maniacs coming back, which I was like, yes, let's bring back Movie Maniacs so that maybe it'll force a little bit of competition and maybe a little bit of improvement. Because like I used to be really into the Predator figures, which are notoriously fragile, and now that some of them are even over the $37.99. I know the recent one that just went up for pre-order was on Big Bad Toy Store for $41.99, and I'm just like, I can't pay that amount of money for a figure. I know that if it just takes the wrong shelf dive, if a limb is not going to snap, then an accessory is going to snap.
Yeah.
Right.
So I collect NECA as well. That's like Black Series is my main thing, and then second most collected thing is probably like the horror NECA stuff, because we're big horror fans, and I have every Ultimate Jason and like Pennywise, Leatherface, the Evil Dead stuff. I do have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff as well, because Secret of the Ooze nostalgia.
Oh yeah.
But
Kino.
I would pick up Kino for sure. The thing that sucks about it is, for me at least, it's the bigger stuff has all broken for me. Like I have the Aliens Queen that my girlfriend got me. See, my girlfriend always tells me that everything that she gets me for Christmas, I end up breaking. I'm like, that's because it's NECA. So like I have the quarter scale Jason, and all I tried to do, and I mean, that's an expensive figure. It's over $100, right? I mean, I got it as a gift. I'm not sure, but the quarter scale Jason, literally, I just tried and then the whole thing, and they sent me a whole new thing, but it's like I can't get the joint out. Yeah, I even brought it to Nate's, and we tried boiling it. We tried
had the pliers in there trying to pull the peg out of the hole, but it was just so stuck in there. And then you had the
Aliens Queen took a shelf dive, and the teeth broke off. I'm like, damn it, because they look so great. NECA does have the most photorealistic figures I think I've seen for that price. Just the Jason Ultimates, for example, it looks like you just reached into the TV and plucked them out. I love NECA so much, but I do agree that the joints are so stiff that they just end up breaking if you overdo it cooking figures with OOTV. We should have made a video out of that.
Right. Hey, it's a strategy. I mean, I try to not boil figures against, boiling is a last resort, because I feel like that could actually damage your figure. Right. So it's you got to be delicate. I'm personally more of a fan of warm water or hair dryer on low kind of thing. If I need to,
I usually use the hair dryer too.
Yeah, and because just getting water on figures, it's just one of those things in my mind. I'm like, what could this do to the figure over a long period of time? But Corbin,
probably not. Yeah, probably nothing. But I know what you're saying. As a collector, I won't even touch figures usually without washing my hands, drying them carefully, and I'm just very OCD about that.
Absolutely. So Corbin has a question for you, Victoria. They are asking, did you collect the 3.75 Clone Wars figures back in 2008? And do you think Hasbro will do anything like that again?
I did collect some of them. I was actively collecting the Legacy Collection during that time because that was the realistic scale alongside the Clone Wars. I kind of picked and choose, and as time has gone on, I've gone back and gotten several more that I missed out on. Luckily, the vehicles are realistic, so they work either which way. But yeah, there's a lot of those figures that are very expensive these days. Like Darth Sidious sells for like $200 in the box. Some of them are very expensive, and the second part of that, I actually asked Hasbro this in a Q&A, will you guys ever go back and to the animated style and bring that back in some capacity? And they said they had no plans to do that. And I don't see them doing it. I'd like to see it. I think that there is a market for that, just given the retail value of some of those figures, secondary market value. They could do like some of those celebrate the saga, like they were doing like multi-packs, 5 Clone Wars figures from 2008 to 2013 or whatever it was that they made those. But I don't see them doing that. I wish they would. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon though.
Yeah, probably we'd have to wait for like a anniversary, like 10 years. So maybe well, I guess it's already been 10 years. It's back
20 years.
2008 was more than 10 years ago. This is awful. This is an awful world. No, but that's another great thing I did want to say, Victoria, is thank you for being a voice in the community with the questions that you get to ask the Hasbro team. I feel your questions are always fantastic, interesting, and not necessarily like, they're not soft questions. So I just wanted to say I appreciate the questions that, they may not get answered all the time, but I do appreciate the work you put in as a voice for a lot of us in the community, because you also handle it in such a way where, you're critical, but you're not freaking out. You're not screaming, yelling, shouting, the things that we see a lot in the fandom. So I did just want to say, just thank you for, being a voice for the community in a lot of ways when you get to interview the team. So
I always think about that, like Darkseid Rey didn't have like the crackly lightsaber blade. For whatever reason, I always think of that question, and unfortunately, that was one that didn't quite get answered either. Yeah. So I don't know. I always think of that one question that you asked. How do you, if you don't mind answering, like how does that even happen? Like how does the Hasbro team go on Victoria's Cantina? Like how does that happen?
How do they go on Victoria's Cantina?
Like how does that come about?
That's a good question. I wish I had an exact answer for that. Yeah, I don't really know. I know I've been at it for a long time. Like I said, 2013 is when I started the channel. I did make it a point when I was going to Comic-Con earlier on to go talk to the teams there, like Steve Evans when he was on Star Wars, and Joe Ninavaji when he was in Star Wars, and I just kind of go hang out with them and talk a little bit. And I think that's kind of maybe what it was born from. I think they kind of took like my card or something, and then I started hearing a little bit more from them periodically.
That's cool.
To participate in certain events. But yeah, no, I think just I'm sure any company really is also going to look at what effect are you having on their brand in terms of how you represent them. So I think as long as you're somebody who's positive, and I think it's okay to be critical, because even like Steve told me at Comic-Con one year, he said, hey, you're very constructive, you are critical, but it's always fair. So I think like you're saying, presenting it in a light that is honest, but also not like freaking out or not going over the top or belittling or begrudging, anything like that.
Right.
But yeah, it's been a great little relationship, I guess. And I do stump them at times though, like with that lightsaber. It still like boggles my mind how that happened. But here we are.
That was a good one. But what's up, AJ? Thank you for joining us. But
Yo.
Darth Clueless says, miss your Black Series reviews as well. Yeah, Victoria, you recently you kind of retired a little bit from doing like Black Series reviews in a way. I know you said you were working on more like journalistic efforts. So do you have anything like, you know, coming up or something that you'd like to share in that aspect of,
Yeah, sure. So I did take a little bit of a backseat on reviewing just across the board, not specifically Black Series or anything.
Mm.
Because, you know, when I was doing it in 2013, there were only, gosh, a handful of channels focusing on Star Wars. And
Mhm.
now I can't even tell you how many there are. There's probably hundreds, if not thousands of them. So
Right.
I kind of felt like maybe, you know, I could use, you know, any little influence that I may have in some other areas. And that's kind of where I started last year, going into focusing on more toy journalism type topics. Um,
Mhm.
and that is very intensive. That takes a lot of time to plan and to film and to I'm really proud of the videos I did last year that were focused on those areas. But uh, I've gotten really busy with work at the same time, so that's kind
Mhm.
of made me take even more of a backseat, go a little farther to the back of the bus, because I've just been really busy with work. So I have done a few reviews in recent months, and I do have a couple lined up. There will be a Black Series review coming up soon,
Hey.
and I have a couple of TVC reviews coming up soon as well. So those will be.
Nice.
I'm hoping to have at least one of those up this week. That's the goal, and I'll tell you what it's for. It's for that Arvilla 7 Mando. That's what the
Yeah.
plan is. So
Awesome.
Okay.
yeah, we'll compare it to all the other Mandos. But yeah, that's how it is. And also the live streams. I've been really enjoying the live streams that I've been doing on my channel
Mhm.
and other channels, and the podcasting's been keeping me busy too. So but yeah, that's the story of where the channel has been over the last year or so.
Nice. Very
Nice.
nice.
And I can only imagine as well, because it's like it's just you. So like even like us, I feel like we're overwhelmed, and I'm like sometimes wait,
Yeah.
there's two of us. There's two
Yeah.
of us.
And we're fortunate enough to have two people editing videos and making content. So
Yeah.
yeah, just
But
being
sometimes people do ask like, hey, can't you make Lego videos? Can't you make TVC videos? Well, it's like I would do that if all 8,000 of our subscribers signed up for our channel membership, and I could quit my job. And
Yeah.
no, it's just, you know, time constraints and everything.
Yeah.
So I totally get that for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to ask you about something because I know that you are an expert at picking out details, and this is something that Justin and I have been discussing recently. But this is about the this upcoming snow variant of Mando. I don't know if you've looked at close detailed pictures, but do you feel like, because we know he's got the new thigh piece, but do you feel like the helmet is a new sculpt? Have you looked closely at that figure? I mean, obviously, I know we only have promo images, but to me, it looks like there's a new helmet. It almost looks like they've gone back and gave us a little bit more of an accurate Mando helmet. So I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on that.
That is a good question. I'll admit I haven't spent a lot of time analyzing that helmet, but I certainly hope so. That is an issue I have had with that figure since it came out, is that the Mandalorian, right? He's the star of the show. He's like, the show revolves around him and everything. And I don't feel like any figure Hasbro has done for Black Series for Mandalorian as a character has really lived up to the character. I think the best one they did was probably the first one, you know, his very first appearance in the show.
Yeah.
But the Beskar ones, I feel like they haven't quite dialed in the correct look for the Beskar. It's a little dark. It's a little bit, it needs to be a little more vibrant, I feel like. And I think this looks to be a step in the
Shiny,
right
yeah.
direction. Yeah. So hopefully that is the case. And if this helmet is new, which I certainly hope that it is, you know, that'll be exactly what we need to bring it closer to the level of like what Mafex did with theirs. I think theirs is probably the best one in the scale so far.
Yeah, theirs looks absolutely amazing. But yeah,
I
I
do
don't know.
agree that there's just something about it.
That helmet looks different. It just looks different to me. Which, I mean, like, I'm right there with you, Victoria. I think we do need a more accurate Mando figure, and I would buy it. You know, say what you will about the 500 Mandos we all already own. If I can get one with an accurate thigh plate and a more accurate helmet, I'll buy another one.
Totally. Yeah,
I'll do it again. Alrighty, so do you guys want to go ahead and talk a little Book of Boba Fett this week?
Sure.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler warning.
Yep.
Right,
So we are going to be discussing Book of Boba Fett spoilers. So if you have not seen the episode yet, I'm sorry, but your time on this stream is coming to an end. Unless you want to get it spoiled without watching it, then that's totally cool. Stay and hang out with us. That's fine too.
Yeah.
But just know that right now, spoiler warning, spoilers for Book of Boba Fett, episode 4, and of course, episodes 1 through 3 as well. So, Victoria, how are you feeling so far about the show in general?
I enjoy it. I'm not hard to please, honestly, when it comes to like new Star Wars content.
Mm-hmm.
And like for me, it could be the case where it's either it's nothing at all, or it's some iteration of, you know, characters that we know that maybe aren't ideal, but, you know, would you rather have that or just nothing? And, you know, this show could not exist. I know a lot of people have complained about certain aspects of his characterization, his portrayal. I've been pretty good with it overall, and I think, you know, first episode was okay. Second episode I really enjoyed. Third episode was okay, and then the last one I actually kind of loved. You know, just kind of going more into Jabba's palace and seeing like the kitchens and seeing some of the familiar droids and all that stuff was what kind of really worked for me. And then the music, like when Fennec Shan was getting like repaired and stuff. A big complaint that I do see is that people say, you know, this isn't my Boba Fett. This isn't the Boba Fett that I grew up with. And I mean, what Boba Fett did we really grow up with? Because he was on screen for like 5 minutes in the original trilogy. We didn't really get any of his backstory. We didn't get any of his portrayal like between the movies, other than, you know, if you go in the expanded universe, there's plenty there. But just going by the films, so, you know, he didn't go out the best way in Return of the Jedi. He got hit on the back by a blind man and fell into this giant hole in the desert.
Right.
So I don't think
he got clowned on.
Yeah, it's like, he Wilhelm screamed his way into that hole, and it's like not the most glamorous portrayal of any character. I don't care who it is. Yeah. So I don't see how people could say that is necessarily better than, you know, what the portrayal we've gotten in this show. I've been fine with it. I'm really excited about where things are going, and I say bring it on. I'm really, you know, this week I think is going to be a pretty cool episode, and, you know, there's 3 more, and we'll see what tie-ins we see to other aspects of Star Wars live action, and I think that's going to be one of the most exciting things for the next few episodes here.
Oh yeah,
yeah, absolutely. I think episode 4 is my favorite so far as well, because I like how it kind of intersected, converged with like the flashbacks and the main storyline. So like when he was just chilling with the Bantha and we saw that flare and you kind of get that like recorder flare of the Mando theme, I was like, okay, like we're starting to actually cross over into the present when it comes to like the flashback to stuff as well. So like, yeah, I really liked the Jabba's Palace stuff. I liked, you know, seeing the Slave One again and him mowing down the Klatooinian clan that killed the Tuskens. That was a great. There were a few moments where it's like I get a little nitpicky because it's Star Wars and I hold it in such a high regard. Right. Those nitpicks don't ruin the experience for me, but there are some like instances where I feel like it gets a little too silly in a way, or like a little too on the nose. But then it's like, is this cool or is this like too far? It's like kind of like with the General Grievous knife droid. Yeah, I was like, this is amazing, but I'm like, is this too far? It's kind of like me being a fan versus me being like a critic, which is like we're huge into film and movies and just movies in general and leaving reviews on movies on our letterbox and stuff. So it's like I look at everything under that critical lens, but then with Star Wars, it's like I'm also just a blind fan that will consume all content and love it. So those two things do clash for me sometimes, where I'm like, this is like borderline slapstick, and I don't know how I feel about it. Like when he's chasing around that one little droid in the kitchen, he's like going through the tunnel, and yeah. But overall, I think episode 4 might actually be my favorite so far.
Yeah, and I think Dude's Nerdery made a good point. We were on 3 Men and a Monkey Lizard yesterday, and I think we just have to chalk it up to Star Wars is for everybody. So they're going to have those super silly moments for the younger audience. They're going to have the more serious stuff for people like us. And I think it's just, I think the line is written well in Boba Fett. Like, I feel like Tem himself does get a little goofy as well. Just like some of the things he says, you're just like,
am I hitting the spot?
Yeah, right. So like he gets
like a bantha.
Yeah, exactly. Like a bantha. Yeah. So it's like, but I don't know. It's kind of charming in a way, just because to me, like Temuera Morrison is just a super charming dude. Like I could listen to him talk all day long, just about anything at all. Yeah. So even when he's like being super goofy and super silly, like I'm still having a good time with it. And even the endless complaints about the slow speeder bike chase or scooter chase, I still think earlier in that episode, we got an amazing scene where Chrysanthemum was just destroying everything. And then I think that I was like, okay, like that was amazing. Like, the speeder scooter thing wasn't the greatest, but what happened earlier in the episode, I was like, more than makes up for it in my book. And yeah, I'm super excited that episode 4, we getting to see, Chrysanthemum is joining the crew, and we got another great scene with him, and actually seeing a Wookiee, tear someone's arm off was pretty exciting. And I'm just happy.
Max?
Yeah, hit it, Max.
Oh,
that was
greatest
awesome.
greatest line of all time, right there.
And we actually, we got the confirmation that it is Max Rebo, because I mean, of course, it could have just been another one of his species. So I'm happy that we got the hit it, Max.
Yeah.
Because that was wonderful. And
use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Alrighty. And I think so far everything that's been going on is just awesome. And I'm can't wait to see Mando potentially in the next. Well, I don't think it's potential. It's obviously a dead giveaway.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It is.
Yeah. So do you think we're going to maybe see some other legacy bounty hunters perhaps, or do you think they're just kind of going to leave it with Mando and Chrysanthemum, of course?
Yeah, that's, I was thinking, how cool would it be to see Bosk? How cool would it be to see Dengar and Forlom and Zuckuss and all of them? It'd be awesome. I think the trick is that they'd have to nail all 4 of those characters at one time, or even one of them at one time would kind of be a tall order. And I think, Mando is obvious. Like he's definitely coming. I think it's more likely we're going to see people Mando has interacted with before. Mando has the connections at this point in the story, right? He's got Grief Karga. I don't think we're going to see Cara Dune again, but he has a connection. He has Bo-Katan, Axe Wolves, Casca Reeves, and I'm sure others that he's Mayfeld that he's interacted with throughout the story. And I think the most likely one we're going to probably get to see, because he's already there on Tatooine, is Cobb Vanth, who is also name dropped by Boba Fett in Mando. True. So I think, Boba's not going to forget that who's around, who can help him out, who can, be on his team. And I think, we're going to see some of these characters probably before we see some of those bounty hunters come into play. Yeah,
that's a excellent point. I totally even spaced on the idea of Cobb Vanth showing up. That'd be awesome too, because I mean, in theory, he'd have a new costume. So I'd be curious to see if he would have some different armor on or something like that. That'd be awesome. Yeah. But yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I feel like it's I don't know. I just feel like the legacy bounty hunters, because I don't know how you feel about, like some of the cameos in Rogue One, I felt like were a little too, on the nose in a lot of ways, especially Ponda Baba, Dr. Evazan, like, why are they on Jeddah? How did they escape the giant, when part of Jeddah exploded? But, so it's like, I have faith that they would handle it well, but at the same time, I'm like, I just kind of always have a little bit of a deep fear that it might just turn into like, hey, my name's Dengar and I'm going to help you on this mission. So.
Right. Yeah. I'd love to see some of those characters. I don't think we're going to see Bosk or Dengar yet. If this series continues beyond season 2 or beyond season 1, I think, there's a good chance that we see some of those other players from his past come into the story. But I think we're beyond flashbacks at this point as well. So I don't think we're going to see anything in terms of things that may have gone on with these bounty hunters. But if a season 2 returns, then, I think they'll kind of start it similarly with certain flashbacks to going before the book of Boba Fett to see how those characters could possibly tie in. Because, we know who they are. A lot of people watching these movies aren't going to remember Bosk or Dengar or some of those, Cad Bane characters like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd love to see Cad Bane too. That would be awesome. Personally, back when Mando season 1 was going on, I was thinking it was going to be Cad Bane. It was the one that walks up to Fennec, just because I felt like Boba Fett was too obvious. But here we are today, where it was Boba Fett. So yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm like, so what else happens in episode 4, Justin? Help me out here.
Well, saves Fennec. Shows him wandering around in the desert on the Bantha before he saves Fennec, which I was a little confused on timeline with this episode. That's like the one thing, because Mando takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi. And then obviously Boba escapes the Sarlacc relatively in a short amount of time after Return of the Jedi. So I was like getting a little confused. I was like, wait, how long exactly was he with the Tuskens? So like he was with the Tuskens for years then. Am I correct?
Yeah,
that's what it seems like. Yeah.
All right. Because I don't know if it's just the way the sequences played out. I was thinking like a few months or something. I just didn't get the idea that it was like, it was like 5 years. Which I'm fine with. I'm totally fine with. And if it is 5 years, that solidifies how he's changed as a person. If he was literally with them for years and years. So I think that makes sense why he isn't the cold-blooded, merciless, which like, I feel like with Boba Fett, there's an animal inside him that does come out, like as we see in Mando season 2 when he's taking on those stormtroopers, which I think was also directed by Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So
yes,
I can see why they sort of maintain that. I don't know did he also direct episode 4 or did they switch it up? Because I think he directed episodes 1 and 3, right?
Yeah, I think it's just 1 and 3 so far.
Yeah,
that he's directed.
Yeah, but saves Fennec. So we see like the like, I kind of like it in a way. At first, it was a little jarring to see like, there's just a cybernetic clinic on every corner of Tatooine. Like it threw me off a little bit, but then I was like, it makes sense for Star Wars and like this like backwash planet in the Outer Rim to just have these shady like cybernetic enhancement surgery clinics. Like it just makes sense to me. So yeah, that happened.
The music in that scene was so good.
That is true as well. But yeah, so he saves Fennec. They infiltrate the Jabba's palace to sort of pay back that life debt. But then she sort of is like, I'll just come on for the ride. So,
right.
The Sarlacc sequence, which was awesome.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Of course, who doesn't love a good seismic charge scene?
Absolutely.
It's one of the greatest moments in Star Wars, period. The very first time that Jango deployed those in episode 2.
Yeah.
Blowing my little 10-year-old mind, like, whoa, this is the greatest thing ever. So
Right.
yeah, getting to see Boba destroy the Sarlacc, get a little payback, and doing it with a seismic charge, like that was awesome. Satisfying to see.
Yeah. Also confirms that his armor is Beskar, which I think that was confirmed in season 2 when like Cobb Vanth gets shot and we just ping. So,
Yeah, true.
Yeah, don't touch my buttons. Yeah. Trying to think of the long table scene with the Rancor puts his claws through the bottom of the thing and we hear those classic sounds.
Yes.
So cool. And he's talking to like the Aqualish and the other species that are there. Black Chrysanthemum is in the squad.
Yes.
Love to see that.
That's what I'm so excited about. Just such an interesting looking Wookiee. We need the vintage collection and the Black Series figures yesterday. So
Oh yeah. New sculpt on Chrysanthemum, please.
Yes.
For the love of all things good.
Yes.
We
need a big beefy Wookiee, and then we could get Tarful too. So
Yeah.
little 2-for-1 special there. Yeah. So I wonder, how Boba's gonna figure out that Cobb has his armor. Like I wonder if we're actually gonna get to see that, or if we are just gonna skip to we're just pretty much done with the flashbacks. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're done with the flashbacks. I wouldn't mind seeing more flashbacks. I just really got the sense that, when the droid said, "Hey, you're healed now, completely healed," and then it just kind of flashes forward to him just sitting in the throne. I kind of felt like that was like a cap on the flashbacks. I think we can assume at this point, he talked to Fennec. She told him about, Mando came after her, with Toro. And, from there, he may have deduced, what was going to happen next. The Razor Crest returns to, later in season 2 of Mando. And then maybe he tracks him to Mos Pelgo. And then it's like, oh, this guy has my armor. And it just kind of goes from there. I'd love to see all that play out, but I don't think we're going to get that much into that at this point.
That's right. Because he says, like, congratulations, sir, you are fully healed. So yeah, I think that might be like literally talking to the audience, like, hey, we're done with flashbacks now.
That's how I interpreted it.
Yeah. That's interesting.
That makes a lot of sense.
It was a great episode, though. And I just loved seeing the Slave One taking out the Clatoonian biker gang.
So satisfying.
I was like, yeah, like just seeing the ship go on the horizon and it's getting closer and you just hear the infamous that so yeah.
It has a good impersonation of it.
Nice.
Thank
it's ruthless Boba Fett, the thing that people are saying doesn't exist anymore.
It's like that vengeful animal inside, like it comes out every once in a while.
Yeah, he's totally still there, and I think people forget too. We're going to see his character develop. Anytime you talk to somebody that's had a near-death experience, they talk about how they were floating and saw that their body like from afar, and how they came back wanting to do good things and to be a different person. Why wouldn't it be any different for Boba? I mean, he had a near-death experience going to the Sarlacc. Who knows how long he was there? And then he went right into the Tuscans, and that further changed his view of the world. So but we still get that classic Boba. You still see him anytime he's walking around Maz Espa and he has the helmet on, he's got the rifle, and I mean it's still the same classic Boba that you see in Empire. So
yeah, he's definitely don't have any complaints as far as like that aspect of his character. Plus I just think it would be super boring if he was just a cold-blooded killer. Like be super one-dimensional. It would not be something you could do for a TV series. It would get I promise it would get old. People would be like, oh, he's just gonna shoot more people and put this guy in carbonite. Right. Okay. Yeah. So do you think we're gonna see like the Tuscan warrior, the presumably female warrior? Do you think she's gonna make a reappearance in some way, or do you think that she might even be like some sort of surprise character, all bandaged up?
I think
What
we're
do
going
you?
to see her again.
Yeah.
I think there's a good bet. You know, they made it a point not to show her that she had been killed.
Hmm.
So I think she's still out there. I think we're also going to get more in the story of who killed the Tuscans, and it may come from her because I think Fennec said something to Boba like, "How did pirates or a group of Klatooinians slaughter Tuscans?" So I think we're going to get a little bit more there. Maybe it wasn't just that gang of Klatooinians. Maybe there was somebody else involved, and maybe
Ooh,
she'll have lived to tell that tale. So I think we'll see her again.
Nice.
that's interesting.
Yeah, the wheels are spinning here. The wheels are spinning. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be awesome to see. Do you think the Rancor has all like it's got to have ulterior motives in some way? Like the twins wouldn't just give Boba a Rancor just to have. I'm curious to see.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about the whole Rancor thing. Because with Danny
right,
Trejo saying like it zeroes in on the first person it sees, I'm like, it went that long without looking at someone.
right.
Like I don't know. But
Especially because I want to imagine that it's Moochie from Bad Batch. We don't have any confirmation of that, but it's like, I mean, similar size, I feel like. I don't know how Rancors age though, so I
yeah.
don't know. I don't know when they go from being large to extra large, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I wonder if it's like, just gonna kind of go crazy and not really do what Boba Fett, wants it to do, and maybe it doesn't necessarily have an allegiance either way, and just starts kind of going on a path of destruction or something. But
I think we'll have that badass shot of Boba riding the Rancor into battle and
Yeah.
eating people and throwing people around. I can't wait for the next episode too with the Mando tease at the end.
yeah,
The Mandalorian theme. It's like every time this happens in like Mando or now Book of Boba Fett, I always think of the next episode needs a War Pigs by Black Sabbath montage of I'm putting together a team. Generals gather in their masters. I'm in.
yeah,
Like cuts to like
exactly.
Bo-Katan, Cobb Vanth,
Right.
Mando.
The ultimate team up song for
Mhm.
every superhero movie team up trailer for the past 20 years.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
I think some people were saying, I still haven't gone back to verify it personally, but some people were saying last night that there's like the Crimson Dawn motifs throughout this episode, so perhaps we might even see like Kira return, which
I'd be down.
would be awesome. I
Yeah.
I would love to see her using her Terrace Kasi hand-to-hand combat against
Yeah.
whoever, whether it's Boba Fett or like a showdown with Fennec or something. Like, it'd be cool to see Amelia Clark in Star Wars again, especially now that she's not super tied up with Game of Thrones. So
True.
Be awesome. And another opportunity, hopefully, for a proper Black Series figure of Kira. So
yes, yeah. I mean, right? Because what outfit did they do for her? It was like the Krylia
the
costume.
Corellia first 5 minutes of the movie, not the one she wore
Yeah.
for like an hour and a half of the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I put on Solo the other night before bed. I didn't make it all the way through, but I feel like Solo is just getting better with time. The more connections
Yeah.
they're putting back into Solo, I'm like, yeah, this is going to end up being like a really nice, fleshed out like movie once we have like more of clearly what's going on with Kira, since she was also briefly reintroduced in the comic books recently. So I feel like I kind of like the fleshing out of Solo, and now that we've seen Pikes again in live action, since there was like the one Pike in Solo as well, which
That's
I
been
think
really cool.
I think everyone forgot about. I was like, there was a Pike in Solo, really? Oh yeah, there it is. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I feel like we've said it every week though. So far so good. Book of Boba Fett is a good show.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't the people that are upset about the show are never going to be satisfied with anything coming out of Star Wars these days. So you know.
Well, I wouldn't
So-
say everyone, because
right.
the Mandalorian didn't get this level of flack, I don't think. So maybe there is some sort of.
But I think that goes into it's Boba Fett, whereas Mando was a fresh character, no expectations,
That is true.
no headcanon that people have, built up for 30, 40 something years about Boba Fett.
That is true.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why we see it more for Book of Boba Fett, just because it's a character people have built up in their mind for 40 years, which I get
That's a
it.
good point.
I get it. But ultimately, like you said, Victoria, we have to go off of what we have as far as canon is concerned, which currently at this point in time is the six-ish minutes in the original trilogy and the couple canon Star Wars comic books. But like with all comic books, whether they're canon or not, I mean, we've even seen stuff change, like Bad Batch, switched up.
Depa Balaba.
Yeah, it switched up Kanan's origin from the comic book that was released that was canon. So you even have to think, like, even the comic books, if they want to do something different in live action, they're going to do it, whether it's a canon story or not. So we just have to accept that, like, live action, I feel like, is just kind of in its own lane. No matter what, it's in its own lane.
George Lucas has said that all those years ago. It's like there's the books and then there's like our movies. So
yeah, because I feel like I saw something on Twitter where someone posted, like, in an old Star Wars novel where there's like a little line of text, like right at the beginning of the book, that basically says, like, hey, this isn't really canon. So
which everything is canon. It doesn't matter what some corporation tells you. You can have whatever head canon you want.
Yep. It's all fiction. It's all fiction at the end of the day. So if you want to have your head canon about what's going on, if that's going to bring you happiness, then I think you should do that. You should focus on your positive enjoyment of things and not the negative, because it's an endless spiral. Where does it end? So I feel like there's definitely more good stuff with Book of Boba Fett than there is negative, So yeah, I'm absolutely digging the show so far. I can't wait to see where it goes. And I really hope we get to see more crime syndicate stuff, because that's a side of Star Wars that's been explored in animation, but we've never really got to see a lot of that in live action. So I would definitely be interested in seeing more crime syndicate stuff.
Yep,
for sure.
All right.
HoloNet asks, is Prince Shizor still alive? Prince Shizor does not exist anymore. and his silly pheromone thing. No, we don't need that.
Yeah, no.
I don't think we're going to see Dash Rendar either. If I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think they're slim chance that they bring back anything from Shadows of the Empire.
Right. Yeah,
very slim. Very slim. I mean, would it be cool in like a, silly 90s extended universe Star Wars kind of way? Sure. Like, would I buy a Dash Rendar Black Series figure? Yes. But do I think he's necessarily a character that needs to be revived in canon? Probably not.
Right.
Because he's ultimately just another Han Solo. Pretty much. Your typical scoundrel. But yeah, so I think that's the word on Book of Boba Fett. I think everyone in the chat seems like they're pretty much enjoying the show as well. So, I think it's just another case of a lot of vocal minority nonsense going on. That's kind of the stuff that's bubbling up to the top, so to speak.
Like this, totally.
Fandom menace, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. So I know, Victoria, you said you only had about 90 minutes or so. So I know we don't want to, I'm not trying to hold you hostage, but I just want to briefly ask, because I know chat's probably not going to let us get away without at least briefly talking a little Rancor, little HasLab Rancor.
Okay.
So I would have to imagine, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but were you intending on backing the Rancor?
I was not intending to back the Rancor. I did not
Oh,
back
wow.
the Rancor.
Okay.
And the reason I did not back the Rancor, and this is something that, we're speculating on what the HasLab was going to be a year ago, and I thought it was either going to be the Rancor, or it was going to be something tying into the Mandalorian. That it wasn't, but the Rancor seemed like a safe bet. Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary was coming up, and so even before it was announced, I said, if it is a Rancor, I'm not going to back it because I just don't have the room for it. I have a 3 3/4 inch Rancor, the last one they released in 2014, I believe it was. And it's awesome. It's huge. It's already like a really big thing. And for the world building, it goes great on the shelf. It fits into my little Jabba's Palace setup. A Black Series one, and of course we know how big it ended up being, right? Huge, massive.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the real estate space, even though I pretty much have every Black Series figure that's been done. That for me was just something that was going to be a little excessive, and I'm trying, as time goes on, I'm trying to be a little more mindful of my focuses in collecting. I'm trying not to just buy things because I like them, which I like a lot of things. I have a lot of interests, and I'm part of a lot of fandoms. Star Wars, obviously the biggest one, but I'm trying to focus a little bit more, and the Rancor was awesome. It looked incredible. I think that had they waited to do it until like now, it probably would have succeeded and been just fine. But at the end of the day, I was already backing the Proton Pack, and the 3 HasLabs that were going at one time was a little much for a lot of people. That because some people did want to buy all 3. Had it, the Rancor just happened as an isolated thing, maybe I would have changed my tune a little bit. But the Proton Pack for me was kind of the priority, because I had the original Kenner one back in when the Rogue Ghostbusters was a thing. I remember waking up Christmas morning and my parents got that for me and made me really excited, and I just had that connection to that. So that was like the priority for me. But yeah, no, I did not back it. I wanted it to pass. I was rooting for it. It made me upset that there were some people out there actively rooting against it. I don't think if you don't want something, pass on it. Don't buy it. I don't think there's a need to campaign against a toy being made. The more people that have the toys
this
that
really
they want,
weird, like philosophical, like weirdness. Don't want to get too deep into it, but there was a lot of weird, like epic philosophical, like I always make the comparison of Lord of the Rings, like charging against the Uruk-hai or the orcs and stuff.
The hold the line.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hold the line, boys. Like, not as epic and fantasy as you think it is. It's just, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, the more people that have access to buying toys that they want to see, toys that they're going to have fun with, how does that not allow for a better world? So it's just, it's unfortunate that some people took that approach. I really wanted to see it happen. It's a bummer that it didn't. But that's where we are.
Yeah, absolutely. That's interesting, though. I was gonna assume you were gonna back it, but you proved me wrong, Victoria.
We're getting surprised by every guest now, because we also had Can't Kill Chewie last week, and then he said he did back the Rancor. I was like, that surprises me.
Right.
So,
we're full of surprises here. Yeah,
for sure.
We were all in, hoping for the best, even though, obviously things happened with that campaign. But yeah, I just wanted to briefly get your thoughts on that, because I know that even though it is literally beating a dead horse, bringing up the HasLab Rancor.
But now it's like so relevant because of Book of Boba Fett.
Right.
Like, damn. Could have just waited.
There's a big issue there, and I don't know if obviously it kind of got leaked, or not leaked, but spoiled what the HasLab was going to be for the Rancor. And I don't know if that's, the next day they had it on StarWars.com that it was coming soon, so they had to like approach it right away, deal with it. But I don't know if Hasbro legitimately didn't know about the Book of Boba Fett having the Rancor, or if it just boiled down to the timing. Since it was revealed what it was, they had to do it, which to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I think genuinely, if Lucasfilm, because they sign off on all of this stuff, if they knew that it was coming and they did not let Hasbro know, hey, why don't you guys wait just a few months before you do this?
Right.
Then I think there's a really big disconnect between the two, and that's something that really needs to get worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Mango Fett is asking, do you think they'll try it again? I don't think so.
I don't think so. HoloNet brings up a point I sort of agree with. They can't try again. That would set a bad precedent. That would ruin future HasLab projects, because now it's like, oh, if we hold the line and demand more stuff, we can hold every HasLab hostage until we get exactly what we want. Mm-hmm. So it turns into this like, vote with your wallet, or do you just back it because this is what is presented to you?
Yeah.
Which you guys already know what side we're on when it comes to that. But it kind of goes back to that philosophical thing of like, if we can hold this thing hostage and force them at gunpoint to give us Slave Leia and give us Ula and Malakili, and then that didn't happen. That whole logic of thinking failed, because they let the timer run out and we were 400 off, and that was it. It was done forever now. Holding the line didn't work. Ula was probably never going to be an option.
It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
Which like we brought up, like the Power of the Force figure, she was already a figure that wasn't like a main release, like 3 3/4 inch. She was a mail away figure. So
she was a mail away, and then she was again, they made a Jabba the Hutt with his Dais set in 2010, I believe. And she was a pack in there, like an updated or fully articulated figure. Great figure. But yeah, I don't think we're ever gonna no more Ulas, sadly.
Yeah.
And it shows like how really like corporate it is, for better or for worse. Because some people are like, oh, they're leaving money on the table because they invested X amount. Hasbro is like a multi-billion-dollar, like their profit margins are it's not like the best of any company, but they make a lot of money. And it's like, I'm not saying it's just a drop in a bucket of water when it comes to like money for them, but that just shows you how corporate it is, when like they will green light it if they sell. Was it 8,000 or 9,000? I'm already like, 9,000. I've already blanked this out of my mind.
It was 9,000.
It's very corporate and punctual, because they're like, we have to get to this number for it to be worth it. And if you don't hit that number, then it's not happening. So it wouldn't matter if it was 5 away or 400 away. And that just shows that how punctual they are when it comes to the HasLab. So even though they could have made money off of the 8,600 or whatever the final number was, it's only worth it if you get to 9,000. So that's just how corporations go sometimes.
Yep. That's the long and short of it, Justin. But yeah, so all righty. Well, we're about at the 2-hour mark, so I'd say we can just go ahead and wrap this stream up.
Sure.
Victoria, thank you so much once again for joining us today. It was awesome talking Star Wars with you, of course.
Oh, yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me. It's been a lot of fun, and hopefully you guys can come on to Cocktail Hour one of these days too.
Absolutely.
For sure.
We'd love to come on. If you just want to do one-on-one or have both of us, either way, we represent Out of the Basement. That's what the 3 Men and the Monkey Lizard last night were talking about, how we've been on their stream a few times, but it's usually either just one or the other. And it's like, it's still Out of the Basement. It's still Out of the Basement.
True.
Yeah, totally.
True.
But yeah, thank you everyone who joined us today. I believe we had like 115 people pretty consistently throughout the stream. So that's amazing. Thank you so much to everyone who donated today, became a member. We certainly appreciate all the channel support.
Victoria's Cantina channel link is in the description, of course, if you're not already subscribed.
Check her channel out. More than just Black Series, vintage collection, Jurassic Park stuff, which we didn't even really talk Jurassic Park.
True. We love Jurassic Park as well.
Yeah. Love Jurassic Park. Real quick, Victoria, what do you think about Jurassic Park 3? Good or not? Underrated?
Fun monster movie?
Some of the best looking dinosaurs in the whole saga, but the movie story itself, pretty weak. Pretty weak.
Yeah. All right.
I'm glad you at least say that, because we're like we're under the umbrella of like JP3 is like a sleeper hit. We love Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, I like it.
But I do agree, like the puppetry, like those live action velociraptors with like the feathers. Oh man, I gotta pick up that figure.
Do it because Amber is a done thing. It's not continuing. So yeah.
Whoa, really?
Grab those soon. Yes, and also the tie-in here between Star Wars and Jurassic. I'm sure you guys know this. Jurassic Park 3, directed by Joe Johnston, who also designed Boba Fett.
Whoa! No, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
I did not know that.
That's sweet.
All right.
Wow. I'm shocked. I'm like,
liking this last minute trivia now.
But like, so Amber collection is done. Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's unfortunate. I have a few, like I have the pterodon, I have like the Jurassic Park raptor, I've got Sam Jackson. Like, you know, they're not the best figures in the world, but I mean, I think the dinosaurs were awesome, but like the human characters, I feel like are, you know.
Yeah.
Well, wow,
that was one of my targets of focus when I was doing those more journalistic videos last year, is how everything was wrong with that line. And yeah, it's basically it's done. So if there's anybody that's missing anything from that line they'd like to grab, you know, now's a good time to do that. I think the Ellie Sattler figure is like $12 right now on Amazon and Target. So yeah. Ooh. But you know, they just announced the Hammond collection, which is basically the same thing, but a 3 3/4 inch collector styled line. So that's going to be replacing Amber collection.
Oh my gosh. So how easy would it be to get that Jurassic Park 3 Raptor, do you think?
It's not on I don't think it's on Amazon, but it shouldn't be too hard. I would definitely get it. It's the best of all the Raptors that they did for that line. So if you find it somewhere, maybe Big Bad Toy Store, somewhere like that could possibly have it still.
Yeah. I'll have to snag that. I did not know that line was ending.
All right. I'm literally looking at Amazon right now. I'm in full panic mode to get the Jurassic Park 3 Raptor. So I was like, I'll just wait. You know, the Raptors they've gone on sale a few times. So I was like, I'll just wait, pick it up for like $20. Now it's a completely red flag. But anyways, sorry about the little Jurassic Park side note there. But again, thank you so much.
I could talk Jurassic all day.
For joining us today. It's one of our, you know, favorite franchises, especially, you know, the like 1 and 3. I love 1 and 3. 2 is pretty good as well. But yeah, so thank you once again for joining us today. It was awesome. Finally getting a chance to talk to you. Of course, do you have any? Well, you said you had some reviews coming up, but if you just wanted to mention any upcoming projects or anything you're working on coming up for people to look forward to. Do you have anything that you want to let the people know about?
Sure. So I'm still pushing, you know, where I can, the Tonica Sisters figure petition. Time for Tonica, hashtag Time for Tonica. We want to see that happen. It's been a long time coming. The actress is on board with making it happen. So we really want to see that before, you know, within a reasonable time frame, right? Before it gets too late, not to be a downer there. But, you know, anybody that was in that original film is not super young. Right. And right now, while they're willing and able to have a hand in making it happen, I think is, you know, it's timely. I am got Cantina Cocktail Hour every Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific time. We got the Cantina Chatter podcast coming back pretty soon. Vintage Collection podcast is winding down season 2. There are 3 more episodes over the next month or so. And then, I got some reviews coming, and I have some great guests coming on the Cocktail Hour as well. Again, hopefully you guys will join me one of these days. And
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Instagram is probably my biggest one that I focus on, and Twitter. At Victoria's Canteen on Instagram, Vic's Canteen on Twitter. And I'm just having fun talking toys, and it's a nice distraction from everything else that goes on, you know, day to day. So if anybody wants to talk toys, just hit me up. I'm happy to answer any questions and hang out. So come see me.
Cool.
There you go. All righty. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next week. We are going to be having Fig Fury on the show, longtime supporter, friend of the channel. He'll be making his way back from his very first trip to Galaxy's Edge, so I'm sure we're going to hear all sorts of fun stuff about his trip. That's next week, same time, same place. You know how it's going. I will have Tython Boba Fett, a review for that figure. That'll be up on Wednesday. I'm going to post that on Wednesday. Time it with Book of Boba Fett. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that. And then, of course, after that, I promise, now that I'm moved in, I'm mostly unpacked. I'm going to get Wave 31 reviews out, and we're going to be back to the normal flow of content. So also expect a new Black Series collection video very soon as well, because I've got that almost entirely set up, and it's going to be an awesome video. So that's what I've got. Justin, anything coming from your end?
Yeah, we do have that easy Clone Trooper repaints that Hasbro could do video coming up sometime. I think it's fine because we've just got done with some pretty big episodes of Figured Out. We have a top 10 of 2021, top 10 wish list, and then top 10 of all time, 3 weeks in a row. So it's kind of been nice to letting those videos breathe, because that usually gets us some new folks to discover the channel and everything. So yeah, it'll be after Tython Boba Fett review probably. So
awesome. Yeah. Great. All righty. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Take care. Make good choices. Don't do anything we wouldn't do.